Welcome back to Crochet College. My name is Mia and today we are going to be making a very cute crocheted pot holder. This pot holder is shaped like a pie. So this is actually a throwback to one of the first patterns I made and started selling on Etsy. But in this version of the pattern, I started to update some things and make some changes that are more like my current crochet style. So eventually I'm going to be getting rid of my current top-selling crocheted pattern and replacing it with a new series of slightly adjusted similar versions of the same pattern. So you can get the pattern links down below. I have a free version on my blog as well as the paid version on Etsy. And gather your supplies. I'll have a link for all of those down below if you need it as well. And then we can get started. To make this project today, I will be using the following supplies. I have 3 different colored cotton yarns. They are a 100% cotton yarn. I got this yarn at Hobby Lobby. It's the I Love This Cotton brand. Today I'm using purple, yellow, and gray. In addition to the yarn, I have a yarn needle, a 4.5mm crochet hook, and a pair of scissors. Step 1 of making this project is to create a magic circle. I know a lot of people like to make their magic circle using their hook. I personally just use my fingers to do it. If you have a different way of making your magic circle, that's fine. We just want to begin with that magic ring. Once I have my magic ring ready, I will pull taut, so I've got the loop around my hook, and chain 2. This chain 2 does not count as our first double crochet. From here, I'm going to work 12 double crochets in the magic circle. Once I have 12 double crochets in the magic circle, I'm going to start to pull that taut, and then using my working yarn, I will reach into the top of my first double crochet and just slip stitch together. I will then pull that magic ring as tight as I can get it, so I have no gap in the middle. Now that I've completed round 1, I'm ready to begin round 2. I am going to continue to build this up for 6 rounds, the same way you would any regular circle. So if you already know how to make a flat circle, you can just go ahead and make a 6-round flat circle as you normally would. But to begin round 2, I chain 2, and I'm going to work 2 double crochets into that first stitch. And then I'm going to continue to work 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. Once you have 24 stitches around, you can join your 2 ends of your round by just slip stitching into the top of the first double crochet. Next up, I'm going to begin round 3 by chaining 2 and working 2 double crochets into that first stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the following stitch. I'm going to continue this pattern of 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet all the way around. Once I get all the way around round 3, I slip stitch to join and then chain 2 to begin round 4. For round 4, I'm going to work 2 double crochets into the first stitch and then work 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. I'm going to continue this pattern all the way around. Once I get all the way around round 4, I insert my hook and slip stitch to join into the top of that first double crochet again. And now I'm ready to begin round 5. To create round 5, I chain 2 to get up to height, and then I work 2 double crochets into the first stitch. Next, I work 1 double crochet into the following 3 stitches. I will continue this pattern all the way around. After I've completed round 5, I slip stitch to join, and I'm about to complete my final round of this flat circle, which is round 6. Just like the previous rounds, I chain 2 to start, and then I work 2 double crochets into the first 2 stitches, or the first stitch, sorry. And then from here, I'm going to work 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. So now I'm working a pattern of 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, all the way around. Once you finish the back panel, you will finish off your work and repeat rounds 1 through 6 with your front panel color. Okay, for my front panel today, I worked up a yellow circle, and my back panel, I have this gray circle. Before I attach these together, I am going to add a beautiful accent on the front of this yellow panel to almost look like slits. I will show you how I do that now using this purple to add those little slit marks in the top of my pie. Slip stitching this accent is a lot easier than you might think. So that's the way I prefer to add this little accent, is using my crochet hook, my accent color, which today I'm using purple, and my front panel to slip stitch that slit on there. Alternatively, if you want to be, or rather if you have the skill to do it, because I really can't, you could use your yarn needle and embroider that on. But for me, I'm going to stick with the slip stitch. So basically, I like to start right where I can see that kind of a seam. I think the slip is a great way to hide that. So I insert my hook into one of the stitches below the seam at the top of row 1, right between round 1 and round 2, really. And then I'm just going to slip stitch from the back, 1 over that kind of the top of that round 1. And then I'm going to slip stitch 1 over the top of round 2, and then I will slip stitch 1 over the top of round 3, and I'll slip stitch 1 over the top of round 4. And there you go, I've got a little pie slit. I know on the camera it looks very dark, but when I pull it closer I think you're able to see that it is a purple I'm using. So from here I am going to need to finish off. So what I will do is pull through my yarn, and then I will finish it off, and then I take this finished off end and just pull it into the inside of the work. I will repeat that slip stitch 7 more times so that I have 8 pie slits. So I have finished adding all of my slits. The way I like to do the pie slits is by, after I'm making my first one, I will skip 3 stitches from round 1 and make my second, skip 3 stitches, make my third, skip 3 stitches, make my fourth, and then I will place the next 4 in between the first 4 that I made. That's just the way that it works for me, but whatever way works for you, that's the way to go. The one thing that is interesting about making pot holders like this is you don't really have to worry too much about weaving in ends. So after I've got all those little ends, I kind of just leave this yarn spaghetti in the middle. And then I know that this is my working or my right side, and I've got this is my right side. So when I stitch these two together, I just make sure to hide all of those tails to make all of them hidden on the inside. So I layer them up with the right side facing out and the wrong side facing together. And next, I'm getting ready to attach them together. The way I like to do that is to just simply slip stitch around the outside of each of these 2 circles. And I like to do it in a way that makes a lot of bulk. So I'll start at the top with beginning with the final or the first chain in round 6 from each one, making sure to really hide those tails in the middle. And I will go through the top loop so that up here you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops that I'm pulling through. And I will pull up and start working a slip stitch all the way around. Once I slip stitch all the way around, my 2 different panels will be put together beautifully. All right, so I've slip stitched all the way around to connect my two panels together. And I mean, come on, can there be a prettier edging on the back side of this? That is my favorite. It is beautiful. Alternatively, I guess, if you wanted it on the front side, I would recommend using the pie tin color that you used and just doing it in reverse. But I think that little white, I'm sorry, not white, that little yellow trim on the back side, it's just beautiful. I love that handmade look. So from here, what I'm going to do is just simply pull that leftover strand right on in through the center to make sure that it is hidden on the inside. And again, you could do this with your yarn needle, or if you're like me, you're just going to do it with your hook. Once it's in there, I'll just cut the excess. And now what we're going to do is begin working our border. So to create the border, I am going to simply insert my hook anywhere on the side. The one thing that you could do is you could insert it right in the top again. The only reason I don't like to do that is because then all of your seams are right there. Versus if you change it up and you insert your hook right through that slip stitch there and pull it through, and you begin working your single crochets all the way around from here, I just feel that that creates a much smoother transition overall for the final look, rather than having this one area that you've got all your bulk at. So all I am going to do next is chain one and work one single crochet into each of those slip stitches around the entire border. Once I've made my way all the way around, rather than just slip stitching to join, I am going to create a chain of 15. And then I will reinsert my hook into the previous stitch and into the next stitch to slip stitch to join. Because basically what I've done here is create this perfect little handle or a hook that I can use to hang my pot holder. All right, now we're ready to start creating our border. The first thing I do to create the border is chain 2. After I've chained 2, I'm then going to work 2 double crochets into the same stitch, giving me a total of 3 double crochets. In the next stitch, I'm going to work 1 slip stitch. I'll then insert my hook into the next stitch and work 3 double crochets. I will slip stitch into the next stitch. I will continue this pattern of 3 double crochets, 1 slip stitch, 3 double crochets, 1 slip stitch, all the way around. So once you've finished up your border and hid all of your tails on the inside of your work, you'll be left with this beautiful pie pot holder. We did it! All right, so the thing I really love about this pattern now compared to the first time I made this type of a pie pot holder has to be this rustic, beautiful back. I am in love with that look of single, like stitched, hand-stitched items, and I feel like sometimes we don't really accentuate that in our crafts, and instead we simply like try to hide all the seams and make everything look perfect. But this intentional stitching in the back, I fall in love with it. I absolutely adore it. In addition, I like the new border that I added. So previously I used a less dense shell stitch. I like how dense this looks. I like that the back actually looks like a pie and the front has this beautiful rounded edge. And with all of my ends hidden in there, it actually kind of puffs up a little bit, which makes it even more fun. So as far as yarn consumption, this pattern did pretty well, honestly. Oh, where's my purple? I still have basically 3 full skeins of yarn here, so if you wanted to make a set or even make a few of these to sell, using this I Love This cotton yarn is a really great way to do it. Each skein runs for under $4 right now at Hobby Lobby, and so if you can make multiple for about $12 worth of material, that's always a plus, especially if you're doing this for like a craft fair or anything like that. So overall, I love this. I have a few more that I'm going to create and release later this week, or if you're watching this later, it's already been posted. So in addition to the slits, we have the lattice, the pumpkin, and my puff stitch lattice. So I'll have all of those posted soon. The links will be down below. Thank you guys for crocheting with me. I hope you have a great day.